My name's Toby. I'm 22 years old, and I grew up in Philadelphia area. I had a great family. Both parents loved the Lord, and both grandparents on both sides loved the Lord as well, so I had incredible heritage. Second of five kids, grew up all my life in the church. My whole life I loved the Lord. When I was 4 or 5 is when I like comprehended the Lord and committed to the Lord. But along the way, I started to have these deeper moments of getting to know Him and connection. So I remember being 15 or 16 years old, and I was at this organization called Teen Pact, which is it's a Christian organization that teaches leadership through government and through intentional discipleship. So I started to get discipled there and learn about leadership, and my faith kind of skyrocketed. So I was in Teen Pact, I was a student, and then I actually ended up getting the opportunity to staff and put on these programs at state capitol buildings. And then I got to do the national traveling intern track, which was really, I was very proud of that, and it was awesome. I got to travel 25,000 miles as a 17, 18-year-old and go across the world, well, the United States at least, to teach these people and minister to kids and teens in the way that I had felt I'd been ministered to. So I was at the pinnacle of my popularity when I actually got the injury that has plagued me to this day. I'm having a baseball catch with a buddy of mine to take my mind off of all the work we've been doing. And a student who I had taught earlier in the year comes up behind me. He's running down the hill. I hear my name, and I turn around. And as I'm turning around, he comes and gives me a hug. And I was rotating. He was moving. His shoulder got me in the jaw. And freak accident, but I had whiplash, concussion, and brain injury from that has caused tons of problems to this day. We didn't know it at the time. We just thought it was a concussion, and so I kind of rested it out. And in the fall, a couple months later, that was May 2019, in August, I moved down here to West Palm for PBA for school. I had everything that I wanted, but I was super depressed and in so much pain. And I remember lying down on the couch one day and saying to my roommate, like, when will I be dead, basically. I was taking extra strength Excedrin 3 times a day, more than I should, just to get through. I remember getting home to Pennsylvania for Christmas break, and my mom said, "The light in your eyes has gone out. We need to talk about this." So I ended up withdrawing from PBA and spending most of my life in my room with the lights out and the shades drawn, noise machine on, unable to do anything. Started seeing doctors just repeatedly, expecting, and I was always a very proactive person, confident person, expecting something to work, and it just never worked. And I remember when I had to leave PBA and I lost my girlfriend, I lost my brother, getting to spend time with him as he was wrapping up at PBA, my business connections, my photography business, the popularity, the notoriety. As I lost all of these things, I also lost the capacity to do anything about it. And as somebody who'd always been an achiever and successful in the things that I put my hand to, it really threw me for a loop. I lost my identity. I was so just like, who am I if I can't be these things? And so that's when I kind of gave God an ultimatum. And I told him, your word says that the law of the Lord revives the soul. Psalm 19 says that. And I don't really believe that. My soul feels dead. So I'm going to give you 1 week. And I put aside all of my other existential books and rap music and things that I was trying to medicate with. And I said, I'm going to just read the Bible, and I'll give you a week. If you don't revive my soul in this week, I'm going to have to start looking elsewhere for satisfaction. So I started reading in Isaiah, and it was just like, straight out the gate, it was like, I love you, like, return to me, why have you rebelled against me? And I was like, I'm sorry. And from that moment on, there was a shift in my heart. And over the past 4 years, there's been a lot of healing that's happened. But he showed me that he has showed me repeatedly that I am not valuable for how much I do, but for who I am. And when my capacity went from 100% to 20%, 25%, whatever it is, his capacity to work through me did not shrink as well. But there was like more space there for him to show himself strong and to do his work. And Paul says, God said to Paul, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. And in my weakness, I lost the identity of being that person who shows himself strong And instead, God has kind of slotted in and filled in that gap by showing himself strong through me. I basically have lived in a monastery for the past 4 years, spending most of my life in bed and in my room. And there's not much you can do except think, pray, or read in those situations. So I don't want anyone to go through chronic pain and have to experience that, but I will say that kind of environment very much so lends itself to getting to know somebody. So we've had a lot of really hard conversations, a lot of crying, a lot of yelling, but in the process, I have come to know him more rightly, and I haven't seen the full scope of the story, but I know every single time where he's had a breakthrough in my life, in my heart, in my mind, in my body, in any capacity, it has been exactly when and what it needs to be.